Welcome to this explainer. Today we're skipping the basic stuff and jumping right into the deep end. We are going to map out the profound energetic architecture of the human subtle body. We're looking at an incredibly complex system of knowledge that's been documented for thousands of years, and we're going to unpack exactly how this hidden circuitry inside all of us is actually structured.
It's honestly kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it. Thousands of years before we had things like functional MRI machines or modern biology, texts from the Upanishads all the way to Tantra traditions were mapping our internal energy fields, and they did it with startling precision. They weren't just guessing here. They detailed a highly organized electromagnetic biofield, basically a subtle anatomy that completely governs our physical, psychological, and spiritual equilibrium.
Okay, so to really grasp this, we have to start with the fundamental concept of the nadi. The word itself comes from the Sanskrit root nada, which means to vibrate or sound, and nad, meaning a hollow stalk. Now, you won't find these if you're looking for physical nerves with a scalpel. Instead, think of them as resonant, subtle conduits of vital energy, or prana, that serve as the underlying power grid for your physical nervous system.
These ancient texts, like the Yogacuttamañi Upanishad, laid down a really mature, foundational view of human existence. They explain that our physical, gross body is just one single layer. And actually, that physical layer is entirely dependent on the astral body, which is the energetic framework we're exploring today, and the causal body, which holds the very seeds of our consciousness. The nadis and chakras, they act as the ultimate intermediaries, bridging all these different dimensions together.
When you picture this overarching subtle anatomy, you can visualize how the chakras align perfectly along the human spinal column. The vital energy flows vertically here. These chakras, which literally translates to wheels or vortices, are the major intersections where all our subtle energy channels cross over one another. They act as massive organizing centers for our vitality.
Imagine a giant, highly integrated circuit vitalizing every single facet of your biology. Different ancient texts cite anywhere from 72,000 to even 350,000 of these nadis. But the exact number isn't the point. What really matters is their monumental task. They take the raw, vital energy of prana and they convert it into the specific frequencies that our organs and tissues literally need to keep us alive.
Out of all those thousands of nadis, there are two that are absolutely primary. They represent the fundamental dualities of human existence. On one side, we have the fiery, active solar energy of the Pingala nadi on the right, and contrasting that, we have the cooling, receptive lunar energy of the Ida nadi on the left. Pingala is what drives our sympathetic fight-or-flight state, while Ida is what governs our parasympathetic rest and digest state. Flowing along either side of the spine, these polarities create this constant oscillating tension. Pingala carries its solar energy up the right side of the base all the way to the right nostril, which actually stimulates the left hemisphere of the brain. Ida, on the other hand, brings that cool lunar energy up the left side to the left nostril, stimulating the right hemisphere. Fun fact, your dominant breathing actually shifts back and forth between these two nostrils throughout the day as your mental and physical states change. It's totally automatic.
So if Ana and Pingala are essentially the positive and negative wires in an electrical system, we need a grounding wire, right? That's the sushumna. It's the grounding, integrating center. It runs straight up the very center of the spinal column and serves as the ultimate neutral pathway for deep balance and spiritual awakening. This makes the sushumna the absolute central integrating axis of the entire energetic circuit. It directly threads together the 7 major chakras, from the root all the way to the crown. Without this central channel, the intense, opposing polarities of Ida and Pingala would completely spin out of balance, and our chakras would just operate in total isolation. Now, this central core holds profound spiritual weight. It acts as the exclusive vertical highway for Kundalini energy to rise. If you're not familiar, Kundalini, or the serpent fire, is this tremendous cosmic energy coiled and dormant at the base of the spine. When it's finally awakened, it doesn't take the side roads. It doesn't travel through Ida or Pingala. It is drawn solely upward through the hollow core of the Sushumna Nadi.
And this upward journey is quite literally an evolutionary process. As the Kundalini travels up the Sushumna, it pierces and vivifies each chakra one by one. It burns through the base survival instincts of the root, elevates up through the emotional centers in the heart, and finally rises into pure spirit at the crown. It's systematically transmuting our dense physical matter into a much higher state of awareness.
So that naturally brings up a huge question. Where does this intricate dance of solar, lunar, and central energy finally culminate?
We've got side channels crisscrossing, we've got a central highway moving straight up, but there is one specific, vital juncture where this entire circuit comes together and integrates.
The entire narrative reaches its climax at the ajna, or the brow chakra. Located right between and slightly above the eyebrows and directly linked to the pineal and pituitary glands, this master regulator is exactly where the three great rivers of Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna finally merge into one.
And let me tell you, this convergence is a massive internal event. When these energies finally unite at the ajna, that constant, exhausting chatter of the mind simply ceases. You suddenly gain mastery over your prana. This is the exact moment the inner guru, your deepest intuition, is finally accessed with absolute clarity, completely unclouded by everyday emotional turbulence.
But wait, the cycle requires one more crucial element, a reciprocal downward flow. See, it's not just about energy pushing up from the earth. While the Kundalini rises to awaken us, divine spiritual energy actually showers downwards from the crown chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus, washing all the way back down to the base.
This constant, uninterrupted exchange is what creates a perfect harmony between our dense physical matter and pure, radiant spirit. It literally transforms the human body into a clear, unobstructed vessel. It pulls up the grounding forces of the earth and draws down the limitless potential of the cosmos, synthesizing them right there in your own heart.
Now, the significance of this central channel doesn't just apply to how we live. It remains absolutely paramount at the very end of our physical journey. According to these esoteric traditions, the Sushumna plays the defining role at the moment of death. All the prana and the Buddhic life web gather from all over the body, centering first in the heart. Through this profound withdrawal, the soul's essence uses this exact same energetic highway to depart the physical body. The gathered energies travel straight up the Sushumna one last time, bypassing the lower centers to exit right through the brain. It's a pretty striking reality, isn't it? The very channel that facilitates our highest enlightenment in life is the exact same path carrying us into the hereafter.
So I'll leave you with this to ponder. Understanding this intricate web of nadis fundamentally challenges how we view our entire existence. When you really grasp the elegant, integrated circuit of Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, it becomes pretty clear that we are far more than just biological machines. We are living, breathing interceptions of matter and spirit. So the next time you take a deep breath, ask yourself, what kind of energy are you really pulling into the circuit?